Good morning, it's Dory. It's day 37. All of my stuff is just a little bit damp from the rain and the wet plants last night. And also, I'm camped near a stream, so there's condensation on my tent, so everything's a little bit wet. But it looks like it's going to be a little bit warm this morning before the afternoon thunderstorm, so I think I'll have a chance to dry some stuff out. If not, I only have today, tomorrow, the next day, and I'm done. That's crazy. 3 more days of hiking, and I am done with the PCT. What? That's so soon. What am I going to do with myself? Back on the trail. I got some up this morning. Good morning, chipmunk. Look, there's still some hail on the ground from yesterday. Hail! Well, it's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind if it hailed this afternoon instead of rained. Because, I mean, hail's like snow, so it's not going to get me as wet. Because I could brush it off. Vehicle traffic prohibited on trail. Because I just crossed the road. Whiskey Spring. I gotta go that way to get some water. Back on the trail. I was looking at this old map on this broken down sign, and it says the orange line is the PCT existing and temporary, and that there's a proposed here. And I looked, right here is the proposed, and I looked at the current map, and it actually is there now. So this old PCT roundabout section was changed sometime after that map was made. I like maps. I wonder why it was changed. But that stuff's happening all the time, I think. Trail's so long and it goes through so many different jurisdictions. Look, historic trash. That's cool. Okay. It's a sugar pine cone, I think, because it's so big. So looks like I've reached the place where it says you should detour around. Quincy Laporte Road. Basically, the Pacific Crest Trail Association said that you should try and hitchhike from this road and skip up 30 miles because of severe overgrowth and fallen trees from 2023. Or sorry, bear fire in 2020. But updates on the Far Out app are showing that there have been trail crews working in the area to cut out a lot of stuff. So it's actually passable now. And I've also planned my campsites tonight and tomorrow based upon comments to make sure that I'm going to be camping within live trees and not in a burned dead tree zone, because that would be dangerous. So I'm going to continue on past this recommended detour. Except for I just walked a couple hundred feet in the wrong direction. So I gotta go back to the road and walk up the road for 100 feet before I rejoin the trail. That's why that sign says PCT go that way, even though I went that way. Let's try this again. There's a trail marker on that tree. Going the right way. Here's my trail. Back on the trail. There's another sign with a comment. Nah, it's good now. Something. It's good now with something detour around. Easy peasy. Up ahead, there's a 4-mile detour to go around the worst part of it. That goes along a forest road, which I'll do tomorrow morning. Don't worry, I'll show you. It's really hard to crouch down. trees. Every one of those dirt clods is the roots of one of these trees. Alder Spring, last water source for the day. So I hung out at Alder Spring for lunch break, met with Cookie Monster, another hiker. Had a really good conversation, deep conversation about things like religion and us versus them being so like embedded in human existence, and the letting go, the grief involved in realizing you might not finish the whole entire PCT in one season. A lot of really good stuff. The deepest conversation I've had for a while now with someone on the trail. We also stumbled upon the fact that Cookie Monster lived in Costa Rica for 2 years and knows how to speak Spanish from that. Because when he said he was in accounting, I said, "Oh, contabilidad." That's how you say accounting in Spanish. He's like, "Oh, sí, contabilidad." And so then we started talking about Spanish and how I'm using my audiobooks to learn Spanish. And he was saying that in Costa Rica, they don't really use the tú for you. They use usted, which is a more formal version of you in American Spanish, Latin American Spanish. So, for example, like a lot of people know, you say like, "Oh, ¿cómo está usted?" which is "how are you?" But that's "how are you" more formally, versus ¿cómo estás tú?, which is "oh, how are you?" informally to like a friend or a family member. But he was saying that in Costa Rica, they don't really even use the tú in formal form. They just use usted for everybody, which I thought was really interesting and also really cool. It's one less verb conjugation that you'd have to remember, have to learn and know. Anywho, that's what I learned, among other things, during my lunch hour. And now I'm taking a road that's parallel to the PCT because it'll rejoin the PCT, and hopefully this is going to prevent me having to go up the hill and then down again. Hopefully there's not really any up on this side parallel walk. The sky is also starting to rumble again. Whoop. Watch your footing. So we'll see how much longer I have before it rains on me. It's what time is it? It's 1:45, and there's a 30% chance of rain from 1 o'clock to probably 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. So we'll see if that 30 hits me. Back on the trail. Look how pretty the clouds are. Wow. It's a little dark above me. They're only rumbling a little bit. Alright, here's a view of the burn area. Now officially on the edge of it. Doesn't look that bad. I was imagining really big, gigantic trees. Oh, it's so pretty. Look, it's raining over there. See the Virgo lines? I don't know if you can hear the thunder, but it's getting more frequent. Hopefully the trail takes me off of this ridge soon, because all the rumbling is right above my head. Looks like, according to the map, I stay high for the next 4 miles or so, and then maybe a couple more to camp. So probably gonna do a little less recording and more speed walking, just so I can hopefully get to camp dry and out of the thunder, lightning risk. Keep losing the trail. There it is. A little bit overgrown. But not too bad here. Straight up. Behind. To the south. Trail's going west for a little while. So we're under the darkest of the gray. It's 2:50 now. I've got just a little bit uphill left, and mostly downhill. So I think I should get to my planned camp area by 5 o'clock. So hopefully if it rains after that. And then tomorrow and the next day show clear skies, no chance of precip. So it'll probably be not getting wet on my last 2 days. So I just have 2 more hours to get through today. I just pushed myself up over that log and my strap just came apart. My backpack strap. Please don't be broken. Oh, it's broken. Here's my backpack strap. And it's supposed to connect right there. Hopefully that's enough of a nub where I can tie it back together. I could probably tie it to right here. 3 days before the end. thunderstorm. I should be able to tie that. I'll be okay. Being able to carry your stuff is pretty important. Checking the other side. It looks like it's being rubbed on, but still plenty of meat left on that strap. So I just tied it to the waist adjustment there. Hopefully that'll work. Let's find out. Let's put it on. Okay. Adjustment feels pretty good. There's the knot there. Feels like it's gonna hold. We've got just over 4 miles left to camp. And then I'll check on it there, see if it's slipping at all, or see if I need to tie it around a third time to get to stay. This pack has lasted almost exactly. Okay, Thunder. Pay attention to me, the clouds say. So this pack has lasted almost exactly my entire PCT adventure. I bought it just a couple months before I started in 2023. So you're doing a really good job, pack. 2 more days and 4 more miles. You can do it. We can do it together. Oh, this is a tree graveyard. The good thing about the thunderstorm yesterday and today is that the winds are pretty much non-existent. It's like 4 to 8 miles an hour. Otherwise, I'd be a lot more worried about hiking through a burn area like this. It's really pretty in its own way. Fire's natural. Though I don't know if this bear fire scar is naturally caused event or not. The trail keeps moving west in the direction of the blue sky. Still got the rumbling darkness over me though. Sounds like my stomach sometimes. But the grumbles on these yesterday and today, the grumbles are so long. Grumbles for like 5 or 10 full seconds. Really cool. And really exciting that I'm not wet yet. Pretty. The thundering seems to have subsided somewhat. Gray seems to be getting a little less ominous. I just pulled another weather text on the Garmin and it said 0% chance of rain now. So fingers crossed that that's accurate. We've been going through a lot of manzanita. Manzanita are these shrubs with these, I don't know, really cute little leaves. And it has this red bark, but like, you see how it peels? And then underneath is like a little bit more kind of greenish. The bark peels so the underneath part can actually, the green is allowing the plant to do more photosynthesis through the bark, which is cool. It's called manzanita because these little fruits, when they're ripe, they're red. So like little apples, because manzana is apple in Spanish and manzanita is little apple. So manzanita, really cool bush. There's some more there. These are not. There's another one there. And I hiked in 2023. There was a, I can't remember the name of the brand, but the brand had a hiking shirt, a sun shirt that had manzanita bushes printed on it. I'd like to get one. Look, there's a car, a truck. That sign over there says Fowler Peak Trailhead. Well, we're going this way. PCT! Well, I technically haven't gotten into the worst part of the fire yet, which is okay, because it hasn't been too bad. And again, I've got a plan to camp in areas where it's not just a stand of dead trees, like right here. Thanks so much to the trail crew, trail crews probably, who cut all the logs out and who is making it possible. Thank you so much. Making it possible for me to complete the last 30 miles of my PCT journey so I can actually complete. I'd be okay. I'd be okay with not completing the last 30 miles, but it's like the last 30 miles. So I'm really glad that they've been clearing stuff so that I can complete my last 30 miles.
think the worst of the storm is over. I'm in the sun again. Only maybe 2 more miles left. Look at the cute little flowers and the butterfly on them. Ah, so pretty. Okay, keep going. I've been walking along and there's this ground cover plant that's really cute. Really cute and little. It's pokey. It wouldn't be good for like a grass replacement, but like a front yard would be nice. And like it's growing in the trail and being walked on. So it's a very hardy ground cover. Would be nice for a drought-resistant native plant front yard. I'll have to keep that in mind when I move to the Sierra. I think a squirrel was really dedicated to taking apart this pine cone and getting all the seeds out. It's a big one. Less than half a mile to the camp area, which is going to be kind of a scavenger hunt to find the place that they're saying has live trees. So, going on a little scavenger hunt, looking for some tent sites. It says to go right up an old logging road. So I'm going to try and do that here. And then where it intersects another logging road, there's a downed tree. And then behind that, there's campsites with live trees surrounding them. So let's see if we can find it. What's not so good about their directions is that they said at mile 1244.6, take that logging road, not 1244.7. But PCT mileages change every year because, again, it's like over 2,000 miles of trail. So there's bound to be shifts in the trail somewhere. So if you're watching this because you're obsessing and planning and getting excited about a future PCT hike, when you're putting these comments down, don't forget, instead of putting the 1244.6 mile marker, since it's going to change, and it also doesn't work for southbounders, instead put 0.3 south of this waypoint, or 0.2 northbound of this waypoint. That way future years can also use your information. I'm not sure if I'm in the place that they're directing me to, but this spot right here is pretty good. There's these short live trees all right around me. And then over here, those dead trees wouldn't reach me. That really tall one could reach me, but I've got this tree right here to block it. This feels like a really safe spot. So this is where I'm gonna sleep tonight. I've got a really big down and up day tomorrow. So in the burn area. So I'm not really looking forward to that, but one last hurdle, and that'll put me to camp at a spot called Lookout Rock, where I can have a nice beautiful view back in the non-burned zone, I think. Yeah. Let's see what my backpack looks like. Okay, so this strap had come apart from here. Luckily, there's this other strap here that I was able to tie it to, and it looks like it's staying really secure, and that knot is only tightening further on itself. It held up really well. I'm really glad, because if it were a spot like right here or the hip belt, I might have had a little bit more difficulty coming up with a solution. I do have in my very minimal first aid and repair kit, I've got this thin paracord that I use to repair stuff on my tent, so I could have fashioned some kind of solution out of that if I needed to, but I'm glad I don't need to. It's 5:15, so that gets me here nice and early so I can set up camp, eat dinner, and then do things like recreationally, like do some stretching, and I'd like to do some meditation work. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that, and then I'm gonna go to bed. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Bye.